मनीषी इसको रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट करिए. Akanksha. Akanksha, yeah, you can make notes simultaneously. See, what is important here, these notes are limited. Okay, we get only 1 week time. Good evening to everyone and welcome back to Current Affairs session. This is Preeti Sagar and I'm going to discuss about all such important news articles which had been there in the news or in the discussion in the past 1 week. Yeah, so about your query, Akanksha, I was saying that you can make your notes simultaneously. What you need to do, whatever we discuss in the class, suffice it with the newspaper. Okay, so follow newspaper regularly on regular basis, and whatever new articles you get, whatever new news you get, you can make notes of that. So newspaper reading is required. Okay, this is important for you to read. So these notes, basically, whatever we discuss in 2.5 hours class, this is very much limited. In a week, we get a session for current affairs. So it is not possible to discuss all such articles or all such, whatever matter is going on in the news. So I just put my efforts to discuss what is possible. Okay. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that read newspaper along with these notes. Okay. All right. Now, so first article that we are going to discuss about, that is about Chandrayaan 2. Okay, so in the orbit of Chandrayaan 2, water molecules had found on moon. Basically, if Chandrayaan mission had been sent, Chandrayaan and Chandrayaan 2 mission had been sent or expedition has been led to the moon, what was the idea? Why this expedition had been led? The idea was to find out life on moon, and water is one of the symbol which shows the possibility of life on moon as well as on any planet wherever this type of findings or this type of expeditions are led. So basically what scientists are doing these days, they are exploring Mars, they are exploring moon, and moon is not new, or expedition to moon is not new. In the past we have seen that USA had led missions to moon in the past. Then India had also be in the race, and Chandrayaan had been sent. Then Chandrayaan 2 had been sent. Although at the last stage we got some of in one stage, last stage we got some failure because of slippage of the rover. But still, it had been found that water molecule or the presence of water molecule had been found as per the observation. Okay. Okay, okay, we'll discuss about Navya. No worry. So about Chandrayaan 2, so Chandrayaan orbiter of ISRO has detected some water molecules on its surface, and as per the researcher, there was widespread lunar hydration and unambiguous detection of OH. OH, that is single molecule of water, and H2O signatures in between 29 degrees north and 62 degrees north latitudes on the moon. It means at the northern latitude of the moon, between 29 to 62 degrees north, this water molecule had been found, that is single water molecule as well as H2O. So water molecule and hydroxyl. Okay, so that had been found on the in the orbit of Chandrayaan 2. So these findings had been published in Current Science Journal that has been authored by former ISRO chairman A.S. Kiran Kumar. Now, so what about water molecule on Earth? So as per the researchers, this formation of hydroxyl or water molecules has happened because of the process which is known as space weathering. Basically, what space weathering is, in space weathering, what happens wherever any planet except apart from Earth, okay, where air mass movement is very less, okay, that is you can say less air movement can be seen. So in this at this arena, or you can say in this space, this weathering takes place. Okay, whenever solar wind meets or blow over the lunar surface, so space weathering takes place. So because of this, what happened, water molecule had been seen in this research. So researchers had also observed brighter sunlit highland region at higher latitudes of the moon, which is comprises of higher hydroxyl or possibly water molecules. So in the sunlight, they have found highland region at these higher latitudes between 29 to 62 degrees north latitude of moon. which shows presence of water molecules or hydroxyl, you can say. So hydroxyl is what? Its chemical formula is OH, and this is single molecule, okay, a single water molecule. Just a moment. Yeah. So what is the significance of this study? So basically this study had become significant for the future planetary exploration, for the resource utilization, because several international missions had been lined up towards moon for the in the upcoming years. As I've said, that moon had been why moon is very much it is attractive towards researchers. Why countries are leading expeditions to moon? Because moon is satellite of Earth. If there is life on Earth, then possibly there might be something or there might be some chances that possibility of life is available on moon. That is why moon is attractive towards researchers or various space agencies. So if this type of study had been found, or Indian, research organization, Indian Space Research Organization had found something. So this is very remarkable study as per the research, what they have found, and it will impact other explorations on the moon surface, okay, by different countries as well as India. So if India will lead to Chandrayaan third mission, then possibly it will be its next target, or it will be its next part of research. So about Chandrayaan 2 mission that had been launched by ISRO in 2019. It suffered a tragic crash when lander got damaged, and its orbiter has helped in new discoveries. So basically what happened when it had to land on the surface of moon, it got slipped. Okay, so a slippage has happened, and because of that, rover is the robot. So rover could not be placed in the Earth arena or Earth atmosphere, which it had been targeted, or which it had been focused. So mission aims to study not just one area of moon, but the areas which is combining the exosphere as well as including the surface and subsurface of the moon. What is exosphere? Exosphere, that beyond the orbit, okay, beyond the orbit of the moon. So it is the combination of the exosphere along with the surface and subsurface of the moon. So that is the mission of this study. So Chandrayaan 2 mission had completely characterized lunar hydration because of the presence of OH, that is hydroxyl, and H2O, that is water molecule. Then before this, Chandrayaan 1 mission had been sent. So this mission, this first mission, it had already confirmed the presence of water on the lunar surface. But because of limited spectral coverage, exact nature of hydrogen could not be as certain. But in this new research, what had been found, they have found that there might be some green, highland, or at the upper highland, there are brighter sunlight, okay, in the higher latitudes. So it is showing the presence of water, or some chances are that presence of water are available, maybe in this form. So if highlands would be there, then might be it is supporting by water. All right. So this article is all about this this research that water molecule had been found, that is H2O as well as OH. So both the molecules had been found over here. What is the reason behind and how it had found? It had found, or the researchers had found that it had because of space weathering. And what space weathering is? It refers to the alteration which occurs in the space environment with the time when it comes in the contact with the solar winds. Okay, that is the process called space weathering. All right. Any questions you can ask here? Next article is what? India-Australia 2+2 ministerial meeting, which is going to be held in the month of September. So they are expecting to hold their first ministerial level 2+2 meeting in September. So whenever 2+2 meeting held, is happening with happening between countries. So what is the meaning of this 2+2? It means 2 diplomats will be there from both the sides. Okay, who will be these 2 diplomats? One will be external affairs minister, and second will be defense minister. Okay, and what they will talk about? They will basically explore the areas of diplomatic relations while improving their external affairs relations. Along with this, defense cooperation. That is where defense minister are meeting. So defense cooperation will also take place. This is the significance of 2+2 meeting. Because space weathering is what? That is, you can say it changes its properties whenever it comes in contact with the solar winds. So it is a process which you can say that is whenever any alteration in the weather change takes place in the space environment with the time. Okay, so whenever along with the time, whenever this any changes happen in the in the weather of the space, okay, or space environment. So that is what space weathering. And how these changes you will find, whenever atmosphere of the space comes in contact with the solar winds. Okay, so when it comes in the contact with the solar winds, the space environment or the space environment changes with the time. Okay, for example, if I talk about Earth, okay, a planet Earth. So here we are having atmosphere which is divided into various, troposphere, stratosphere, so various spheres it is divided into. And in every sphere, what happens? Solar winds falls, okay. So here in these exosphere or satellites or other planets, what happens? Because these satellites and other planets, they are atmosphere-less or airless, or air pressure is very less in these space. Space bodies, or you can say planets or satellites. So what happens whenever solar wind blows through the atmosphere of these planets or satellites, it comes in contact, while coming in the contact with the solar winds, some changes takes place in the space environment with the time. That is called space weathering. Okay. All right. So yeah, so 2+2 meeting I was talking about. So whenever 2+2 meeting is being held between the countries, it means they are exploring the areas of diplomatic relations along with defense cooperation. So here, this is going to happen. The first meeting is going to happen between India and Australia, this 2+2 meeting in the month of September this year. So first ever meeting between foreign and defense ministers will be held as a part of bilateral plan to upgrade their secretary level 2+2 interaction. So earlier it used to be secretary level 2+2 interaction, and now it will be foreign and defense minister level meetings. So foreign minister of foreign and defense minister of Australia, that is Pine, Maris Pine and Peter. So they will visit India and Indonesia in the month of September. And Prime Minister Scott Morrison is also expected to attend a Quad Summit level meeting, which is in the line to UN General Assembly in the month of September in New York only. So this meeting was planned during a virtual meeting between MS Pine and S. Jaishankar amid COVID-19 pandemic. That is, both the External Affairs Minister will have virtual meeting. So besides Quad initiative, Australia and India also have to deal with the travel restrictions which had been placed due to COVID-19. What are travel restrictions? That those countries where COVID-19 cases are in the surge, okay, or upsurge, so travel had been restricted. Okay, so whatever travel restrictions had been put, these external affairs ministers of both the countries will discuss about. Defense Minister of Australia, that is Peter Dutton, is also expected to invite India to join next round of Talisman Sabre exercise, which is going to be conducted in Queensland. All right. So this is what? This is defense cooperation. So here, if India will be invited into this Talisman Sabre exercise, so what is the significance of it? The significance is that India and Australia will explore their defense cooperation or explore their defense ties. Okay, India and Australia, now Australia is part of Malabar exercise since 2020. Okay, when it last conducted. So Australia had also been, India invited Australia, and now Australia has also been part of Malabar exercise. So here they have already initiated this defense cooperation, and now they are moving towards searching the new avenues in the defense cooperation. So Australia had invited India in the next round of Talisman Sabre exercise, which is going to be held in Queensland. This is your prelims fact. All right. So what is this Talisman Sabre exercise? Basically, this exercise comprises which of the following countries? Australia, Japan, South Korea, and USA. And its 2021 edition had recently been concluded in the month of August. So its new edition is being scheduled for 2023, and that is the biggest war exercise of Australia. So if India had been invited into this, it means whatever technologies Australia and other countries like Japan, South Korea, and USA are using, and they have shared these, or they have shown the capabilities of their defense equipments. So if India is being invited, then India can also join this exercise in the coming future if situation allows, if Australia invite India to become its permanent member. So that we will see in the coming future. But here India is being invited. It means it will get an observer status. All right. Now, about 2+2 dialogue. So remember this fact, this talisman exercise, it is so India is not part of it. Who are part of it? Australia, Japan, South Korea, and USA. And we know that Australia, Japan, USA, and India, they are part of Quad as well as Malabar exercise. And Australia, Japan, South Korea plus USA, they are part of talisman subray exercise. So this year's edition had been held in Queensland. Okay. So what is 2+2 dialogue? So if we talk about this 2+2 dialogue, that had been, this term had been adopted by foreign conferences, and it usually used to install a dialogue mechanism between defense and external affairs ministers of two countries. So it is an expression which is used to indicate that two appointed ministers from two countries, that is ministers of defense and external affairs ministers, will meet to discuss the strategic and security interest of both the countries. Such dialogues seeks to establish a diplomatic conversation between two countries. So they establish diplomatic relations as well as defense cooperation. Okay. And if we talk about India and Australia, so India and Australia, basically they are part of Indo-Ocean. So with Quad, because Australia is part of Quad, so what they are doing, they are keeping their eye on the Indo-Ocean along with Pacific Ocean. So in the Indo-Pacific Ocean, they are together to keep an eye in the marine ecosystem, and you can say in the marine or water body. And along with this cooperation or 2+2 meeting, which is going to be held between both the countries, so new avenues they can search for. Okay, both the countries can search for, and this is another pillar or another strength to the relationship between India and Australia. So there are lots of things are been in the discussion between India and Australia, for example, Quad, Malabar, and this 2+2 dialogue. And on and off, we see that Australia takes part of India in at the geopolitical arena. So here you can expect one question in 2022 or 2023 regarding India-Australia relations in the mains paper GS2. All right. Any questions on this? Any doubts in this? You can ask here. Sorry. No, India is not part of it. India had been invited to participate in that. Okay. So how India will participate? India will be an observer. Okay. It will get observer status. India is not part of it. Okay. If we see exercise based questions, so in a year lots of exercise happens. So basically they will give you name of the exercise, and they will ask you between which countries this exercise has been held, or where this exercise has held. Okay, so these type of questions, so very easy questions they ask on the basis of exercises. Okay, but another thing what you need to prepare regarding exercises, the significance of those exercises. So what you have to do, you have to understand why exercises are being taking place, whether it is maritime, whether it is naval, defense, what type of exercise is being conducted. So what can be the significance? Significance is this what's it, security. Okay, security of both the countries, then interoperability. Okay, then defense technology transfer. So these are what? These are significance of these exercises. So these are important for the mains, but in the prelims, they will simply give you the name of the exercise and they will ask you which countries are involved in the exercises. Okay? All right. Now, on the basis of exercise, one article we have got, that is Al Mohid Al Hindi 2021 exercise between India and Saudi Arabia. Now, one thing is going on. Anyways, we'll talk about later on. So India and Saudi Arabia, basically what is happening, Saudi Arabia is a West Asian nation. Apart from other countries of West Asia like Israel, Iran, and um, I'm forgetting the name. So Saudi Arabia is there. Yeah, UAE. So these countries, basically, India shares good relations between them, and India is being exporter of oil from these countries, especially Saudi Arabia. So this exercise, if both the countries are being held, okay, or they have started. So this is first ever naval exercise between India and Saudi Arabia. So here, what India has done, India has searched searched new avenue, or it has established a defense cooperation with Saudi Arabia in the Persian Gulf. Okay, so India and Saudi Arabia is all set to conduct their first ever naval exercise, which is named as Al Mohid Al Hindi 2021 edition. So to participate in this exercise, India's guided missile destroyer, that is INS Kochi, has reached Saudi Arabia. And the joint naval exercise will showcase the reflection of growing defense and military cooperation between both the countries. So here, what is the significance? Reflection of growing defense and military cooperation. So this is the significance of this naval exercise, Al Mohid Al Hindi exercise, that is defense, growing defense and military cooperation between India and Saudi Arabia. So INS Kochi has reached to Saudi Arabia after conducting naval exercise with UAE Navy off the coast of Abu Dhabi. Okay. And harbor phase of Al Mohid Al Hindi 2021 exercise, which has started on the 9th of August 2021. That was sea-based drill, which has started from sea-based drill in this Al Mohid Al Hindi exercise had been started from 11th August. After INS Kochi, which has arrived at Jubail port, it was given a warm welcome by the officials of Royal Saudi Naval Forces. So this Jubail port, that is in the Saudi Arabia. Okay. So what is the significance of this exercise? Basically, this exercise, when it had taken place, when tension is being increased in the Gulf region, followed by drone attack on the merchant tanker of Oman that had killed British national and Romanian citizen. So United Kingdom and United States, they have accused Iran for carrying the attack on the MV Mercer Street. Okay, that British national and Roman civilian citizens had been killed in this merchant tanker attack. So what was the name? That was MV Mercer Street. So here, what is happening? It means when USA and UK, they together had accused regarding this drone attack in the Gulf region, and because of this attack, tension in the Gulf region had increased. That these West Asian nations, they are basically try to control this Persian Gulf region, okay, or Gulf region, and they are not allowed to move merchant navies or merchant ships of UK and USA. So these tensions are been growing, and UK and USA basically being the superpower or one power block. So it basically it has imposed sanctions on Iran. Okay, it had accused Iran of this drone attack. So in that situation, this exercise is being held. Okay, so here, what is the significance of this? So that is the background of the exercise. But what is the significance of this? Significance of this is that despite of these tensions, Saudi Arabia had chosen India to become its defense, to establish defense tie with India. Okay, it has chosen India. So here, relationship or defense cooperation between a West Asian nation along with India is being taking place. Okay, and they will strengthen their defense cooperation, okay, defense ties. They will work towards security in the Gulf region, okay, Persian Gulf region. So basically, if you see, if you have any idea regarding its location, so basically from where you can reach to the Gulf region through Arabian Sea, and the Arabian Sea, that is touches the India's western side boundary, okay. So through Arabian Sea, you can reach to Gulf region. Then that will give you passage to enter into West Asia. That is about India. Okay, it will give you a passage, or it give India a passage to enter into West Asia. So here, if India is patrolling in the Arabian Sea, and this Saudi Arabia is being patrolling in the Gulf region. So Gulf region, basically it is remain tensed, okay, because of USA and UK presence, which these West Asian nations are not liking it, and tensions are being increased. For example, Iran has been dragged into it regarding this attack or drone attack. So despite of these things, India's strategic role can be seen in the region, in the Gulf region. And India, as I have said, that it is biggest importer of crude oil from Gulf region. Okay, so it is already having trade relationship with the West Asian region or the Gulf region, and now this defense cooperation had been established. So it had somewhere improved the status of India, okay, in the geopolitical arena or geopolitical platform. So that is all about this article. Any questions you can ask here. Yeah, about this INS Kochi. So INS Kochi is not so important for the prelims point of view or exam point of view, but still some information we can share about. So that is what? That is the second ship of Kolkata class stealth guided missile destroyer. So INS Kochi had participated. So this is what? This is guided missile destroyer. It means missile destroyer it is, and this missile destroyer is being guided, pre-guided. So it had been built for the Indian Navy under the code name Project 15A. And ship was constructed by Mazagaon Dock Limited in Mumbai, and it had been commissioned to Indian Navy Services in September 2015. That is why it was named as Project 15A. So this ship is being classified as a network of networks, since it is equipped with the sophisticated digital networks, sophisticated array of the state-of-art weapons, sensors that can neutralize any threat from air, sea, and underwater. So whenever any threat comes from three means: air, sea, and underwater. Okay, see, it means on the water surface and beneath the water surface, that is underwater. So it can detect it with the help of sensors. It is having state-of-the-art weapons. It means new technology of weapons it is equipped with. And it is having digital networks. So these makes INS Kochi a suitable warship to participate in this exercise, naval exercise. Any questions in this? You can ask here. No questions? Chalo. Next question is about common survey to count elephants and tigers. Basically, this is last week's news. So elephant and tiger census is to be conducted, and that has to be conducted as a common survey. It means common count will be taken place for the census of elephants and tigers. Earlier, it used to be separate elephant census and separate tiger census used to be taken place. But now, from December 2021, this new system will be adopted, where a common survey will be conducted to count elephant as well as tigers. So India will move to this system from December 2021. That will count tigers and elephants as part of a common survey. So a common survey will be conducted. What is survey? In the survey, some regarding their population, they will conduct this, and commonly it will be conducted to count elephant as well as tiger. So tiger survey is usually held once in 4 years, and elephants are counted once in 5 years. As per the most recent 2018-19 survey, there had been found 2,997 tigers in India. And according to last count in 2017, regarding elephants, there were 29,964 elephants in India. So what is the highlights of this development? Basically, on World Elephant Day, Environment Minister had said that population estimation protocol will be adopted in all India elephant and tiger population estimation in 2022. And it had been pressed need to improve, harmonize the population estimation methods along more scientific lines in various states across India to estimate animal numbers. So here, improvement are required in the calculation or in the census, then and harmonizing the population estimation methods. It means whatever population estimation methods are there, that need to be harmonized along with the animals. Apart from this, this census will be on the scientific lines which will be implemented, adopted and implemented by various states across India to estimate animal numbers. All right. So now, current method of estimation, currently what method is being used for the estimation of tiger and elephants? So since 2006, World Institute of India, which is in Dehradun, they have affiliated to the Environment Ministry, and they had a standardized protocol in the place that states then used to estimate tiger numbers. Based on the sightings in camera traps, indirect estimation methods, tiger numbers used to be computed. So basically, if we talk about estimation methods or census methodology, there is double sampling, which is based on ground-based surveys, and actual images captured on the camera traps. Okay, so what is the meaning of camera trap? Basically, what they do, they install cameras at certain distance. You might have seen the movie Sherni. Okay, recently it has released 2 or 3 months back. So in Sherni movie, what it has been shown? It had been shown that those forest officers, they installed these cameras at at certain distance in the trees, and whenever those tigers used to get captured in the camera. So on that basis, that is called camera trap methodology. So on that basis, they used to identify the tiger, and they used to estimate it. Okay, so basically it was not about estimation, but that was about just to find out who's the killer. Okay, so that movie was based upon that. So here, this camera trap technology is used, that had been used for the estimation or census methodology. And then a double sampling method had been introduced in 2006 after pug mark survey were found to be inaccurate. Basically, what is pug mark? Pug mark is the mark of their pugs. So on the basis of those pug marks, that identification of those pug marks used to be conducted. So forest officers, they used to identify the pug marks. On that basis, estimation used to be taken place. But that was not accurate. Okay, that was not accurate, because every tiger is having different pug mark or same pug mark. Okay, that may be possible. So because of this, double counting used to be taken place. All right. Then in 2018 census, 83% of the big cats, it means these tigers, had been censused where individually photographed by using camera traps had been used. Then apart from this, one question had been asked in UPSC regarding M strips. Okay, M strips. MSTRIPES, M strips. So this M strip, that is a strip on the, or you can say that is a band on the neck, in the neck of the tiger. So this M stripe, or not strips, M stripes you can say. So M stripe was the method which had been used for the tiger population or estimation of the tiger population. So these are those methodology which had been used for the estimation of tigers. Then elephant numbers, that had been largely rely on the states directly counting the number of elephants. And recently, these techniques which analyze dung samples, okay, dung samples of elephant. So by dung samples, and elephant population used to be identified, that had been deployed to estimate birth rates and population trends in elephants. Okay, so by dung samples, head count ratio, that was also one of the method of the elephant counting. Okay, so these methods had been used for the elephant census. Now, if common survey will get conducted for both the animals, then what will happen? So basically, it will save costing. Okay, so 90% of the area which is occupied by elephants and tiger is common. So they commonly found in the area. And once estimation methods are standardized, they will have a common survey which will be significantly save the cost of the estimation. In 2017, Union Environment Ministry had reported that there were 27,312 elephants on the average in the country. According to the figure collated from 23 states, a decline from the 29,576 elephants had been recorded as a mean figure in 2012. So in 2012, it was said that the elephant population is 29,576. But in 2017, it was found that among 23 states, this number had been dropped down to 27,312. So somewhere around 2,000 population, or a drop of 2,000 elephants had been taken place in the elephant estimation or census. So there might be some loopholes in the estimation. That is why this much number drop had been found. So just to have a correct figure, this common survey is being applied for. Okay, that has been talked about to apply for the estimation of both the animals, because they are sharing the common habitat. Okay. So in 2019, it had emerged that Kerala might have undercounted somewhere 2,700 elephants in the largest elephant census, and they have updated in 2017. So in 2017, this figure had shown 29,964 elephants on average. So it was shown an increase which had been found in 2012. So that was because Kerala initially relied on a direct count method, and then it switched to an indirect method when court had showed a decline in its elephant population. So because of this, what's a mismatch, it had been thought of. So Asian elephants, who are listed as the endangered in the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. More than 60% of world's elephant population is in India, and that has been said by the Environment Ministry. So here, this second last point regarding Asian elephants, this is your prelims fact. So you must remember about it. You must know about it, that Asian elephant status in the IUCN Red category list is what? It is endangered. All right. So this is all about this article. You can ask any questions, if some question is having or some doubt is having. Common survey, it means that only, what is survey? Survey just to find out answer of some questions. So what is the question? The question is about the census. Okay, so the census of animal and tiger, which used to be conducted separately, so now this will be conducted under one survey. Okay, so one survey will get conducted, and in this survey they will find out the number of elephants as well as number of tigers. That is the meaning of common survey. So it will not be they are not going to conduct the census separately of both the animals, but it will be one. Okay. Benefit of this common survey is cost estimation. It will save the cost. Okay, and another thing is that duplication of numbers or incorrect number, whatever they had been estimated earlier. So maybe, and here they are going to use scientific method in this common survey. Okay, so by this way they can save these efforts, they can save they can save themselves to in the duplicacy of the accounting, or that had been found that in the by using traditional methods of the elephant counting, it had found that somewhere tiger population had been elephant population had been dropped down. So just to make it efficient, they are going to use it. So you can say, just to avoid duplicacy, and just to avoid lesser incorrect figure, okay, finding out of incorrect figure, this common survey had to be taken place for the estimation of both the animals. Okay, so cost saving it is, avoiding duplicacy, avoiding incorrect figure, okay, or incorrect estimation. Chalo. Yeah. Next is what? Wanchua festival. Did you have you find anything about Wanchua festival? 2 or 3 days back, this one picture had been there in the Hindu regarding Wanchua festival. So this Wanchua festival, this is basically, it belongs to the tribal population, or one of the tribe that is called Tiwa tribe. Tiwa tribe of Assam in the Karbi Anglong region. Okay, so Tiwa tribesmen, they performed a traditional dance as they take part in the Wanchua festival, in which they pray for a bountiful harvest in Morton village in Karbi Anglong district of Assam. So three things you need to remember over here, that this Wanchua festival that had been celebrated by Tiwa tribesmen, and it is celebrated by performing a traditional dance. Okay, so traditional dance had been performed by Tiwa tribesmen. This Wanchua festival had been celebrated, and why they had celebrated? They had celebrated in which they have prayed for a bountiful harvest in the Morton village in Karbi Anglong district. So it is in the Karbi Anglong district in the Morton village, and it is a kind of thanksgiving to the local deity. Okay, so they had prayed God for the bountiful harvest. It means for the whatever harvest goods had been, or grain had been harvested, for that they have thanked to the God or the local deity whomsoever they praise, okay, or worship. So this is related to harvesting. Okay, and along with this, it is in the Karbi Anglong district of Morton village, and performed by Tiwa tribes, and this is a traditional dance, okay, where they have performed traditional dance in this Wanchua festival. So now, as we wait for the monsoon to arrive and the year's planting season has been assured in by the Tiwas of Assam with the vibrant Wanchua festival. So this is a significant festival for the Tiwa tribe, one of the major ethnic groups of the Assam. So this Tiwa tribe is major ethnic group of Assam state. 2-day Wanchua festival is usually marked by the sacrifice of a pig and prayers that is being offered by a bountiful harvest. So another feature, what is that? That they sacrifice pigs in this festival and pray God for the bountiful harvest. So as spring comes to an end with a flourish and makes way for the rains, Tiwa communities in the Karbi Anglong district perform ritual sacrifice, which is accompanied by dances performed by young men of the community wearing brilliant tangerine head scarves. Okay, these head scarves, these are what? Tangerine head scarves. So after following traditional customs, women winnow rice grains and by hand, and the men then ceremonially pound the rice into the powder in large wooden mortars. So in the large wooden mortars, what they do by mortar and pebble, they basically pound the rice and make it in the powder form. So women, they basically pour that rice in the mortar, and men convert that rice into powder form. So brewing fresh rice beer is also a major part of the festival. So they brew rice beer by doing this, or by this methodology. Okay, so this is another major part of this Wanchua festival. So Tiwa believes strongly that Wanchua festival, with its sacrifices, dances, and rituals, blesses seedlings and wards off natural calamities that may damage the harvest. So why they do that? They do that just to please the God, so that natural calamities can be warded off, and damage to the harvest can be what's a can be saved from, okay, by doing these sacrifices, dances, and rituals. So about Tiva tribe, if we talk about, so Tiva, which is also known as Lalung, okay, Lalung, which is an indigenous community who is inhabiting in the state of Assam and Meghalaya. And they can also be found in another parts of Arunachal Pradesh as well as Manipur. So they have spread through 4 states, Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, and Manipur. So they are recognized as a scheduled tribe within the state of Assam, but they still do not benefit the ST status in the state of Meghalaya because they are indigenous people of Assam and their population is spread in other states. They practice jhum or shifting cultivation, that is slash and burn technology, slash and burn method, where land is first cleared of any vegetation, then it is later set on fire, that is slash and burn method. The result is a more fertile soil that is freshly enriched with potash, all the more useful for a bountiful crop. So main festival of the Tiva tribes are Three Pisu, which is Bihu, Borot Utsav, Sogra Puja, Vanchua, Jonbil Mela, Kabla, Langkhon Puja, and Yangli Puja. Pig, which is a staple part of their diet and their culture, and that is why they sacrifice pig to the god in the praise of God. All right. Any questions in this? You can ask here. So from this article, many prelims-based questions can be framed. All right. So lots of prelims facts you can find in this article. And along with these festivals, you can also have some notes of the known festivals of Assam region. Like Bihu. Bihu are 3 types. Bihu, they celebrate in the 3 seasons. And apart from this cultural dance, okay, or you can say, what is that? What was the name? Satariya. Yeah, Satariya dance. So class that is now a classical dance. So you need to know about that because once UPSC had asked questions on this regarding Satariya dance. So basically, northeastern states, they are very rich in culture and tradition. They are having rich culture regarding dances, folk songs, folk festivals. Apart from this, this classical dance as well. Along with that, temple architecture, it's vegetation, then it's what's a sanctuaries and national what's a wildlife sanctuaries and national parks as well. So these informations you need to have, you need to make notes of regarding northeastern states. All right, any questions on this you can ask here. Now, next article is about World Food Program report, hunger spreading in Afghanistan. We know the reason why they have found this hunger or increase in the hunger ratio in Afghanistan. So UN Food Agency's program, that is World Food Program, they have find out that 39 million people, 14 million people are out of these 39 million people, 14 million people are facing severe hunger in Afghanistan. So this UN Food Agency has been able to negotiate with Taliban so that they can distribute aid in 1 provincial capital in Afghanistan. And however, it is unable to resume food deliveries to 3 other provincial capitals because of Taliban's insurgencies. So this is second drought in the 3 years that country is facing. And this year drought is combined with fighting. So first reason is drought and second reason is the turmoil or political turmoil in the Afghanistan region. So drought had afflicted Afghanistan much before the Taliban taking over the country on 15th of August. As per World Food Program, estimates somewhere around 2 million children are found malnourished in Afghanistan. And now, what is about World Food Program? So, which is this World Food Program is the food assistance branch of United Nations as the world's largest humanitarian organization, which largely focuses on the hunger and food security among the nations. And this World Food Program basically is a largest provider of school meals. It means they are the provider of the school meals. It means midday meal skills in the form of midday meal schemes to other countries. So that had been founded in 1961, where their headquarters was in Rome. And it also has its office across 80 countries. And this organization had served about 97 million people in 88 countries as of 2019. So World Food Program, you need to know about that. It is in the association with the United Nations, and they find out hunger ratio or hunger numbers in the countries wherever they are functioning, and they try to provide distribution of food to those affected areas. Okay, there might be the reasons war-torn countries. For example, for Afghanistan, they have find hunger ratio increase in the Afghanistan. So what are the reason? Because Afghanistan had become a war-torn country. Another is what? Drought. So two reasons are there: fighting and drought are the reasons behind hunger ratio increase in the Afghanistan. So functions of World Food Program, if we talk about, so along with the emergency food relief, World Food Program, basically it provides technical assistance. Wait a second. Yeah. So this World Food Program, it provides technical assistance and development aid that in this, what they do, they build capacity for emergency preparedness and they respond against it. Along with this, they also promote social and safety programs. They manage supply chains and logistics and strengthen resilience against the climate change. Along with this, they are also major provider of direct cash assistance and medical supplies. So they not only provide food, but along with this, they provide cash assistance, direct cash assistance to those who are affected, and medical supplies to those people. All right. Yeah. And what is the goal of this World Food Program? So basically, it is an executive member of the United Nations and of the United Nations Development Group. Here they are aiming to fulfill 17 development goals with focus on achieving SDG second, that is zero hunger by 2030. Okay. Yeah. About your question, Navya, regarding World Food Program's office in India. So basically, it works for the countries. Okay, it works for the countries, and India is one of those countries. So yes, it is having its office, and basically, it is working globally, but it is working for India. Okay, because India is one of those countries where largest number of population which is fighting with hunger or fighting against hunger is you can find. And India's status in or India's ranking in the world hunger index is very, very poor. Okay, their situation is very, very poor. So because of that, they are working in the assistance. Okay, they are assisting India to work towards what is that, mitigation of hunger. Okay, so they are working with 88 countries. So apart from among those 88 countries, India is one among them. So it is working for India too. Okay, any questions on this you can ask here. Any questions? Chalo. Next article will move or will proceed to, that is about ratification of Kigali Amendment to Montreal Protocol. So have you heard about this Kigali Agreement and Montreal Protocol? Have you heard anything about this? Montreal Protocol, but what have you heard about? What is Kigali Agreement and Montreal Agreement about all about? Yeah, it is there. So it is about what? It is about hydrofluorocarbon, to control hydrofluorocarbon. Okay, and this Montreal Protocol that had came earlier. All right. So this Kigali is in the Rwanda. Okay, this Kigali, the location of Kigali is in Rwanda. Focus on prevention of ozone. So Montreal is focusing on the ozone prevention of ozone layer. So first Montreal Protocol has been held. Then later on Kigali Agreement had come. So India had basically approved the ratification of the Kigali Agreement to the Montreal Protocol. So under this Montreal Protocol, this Kigali Agreement had been framed out, which India had ratified it. So that it can phase down hydrofluorocarbons. And what are the sources of hydrofluorocarbons? Any idea? Refrigeration, okay, AC. All right, those technologies which we use in our households, and because of that, what is happening? Hydrofluorocarbons are getting increased, which is one of the reason, which is the biggest reason of depletion of ozone layer. And why ozone layer is important? What is the use of ozone layer? If ozone layer is there, so what is the use of it? Basically, you can find ozone layer in the stratosphere, and you can also find ozone layer in the atmosphere, on the, let's say, surface. Okay, so ozone layer, basically it provides a blanket to the atmosphere. Yes, protection from UV rays. Okay, it is harmful for the human beings, it is harmful for the environment, it is harmful for the agricultural crops as well. All right, it impacts agricultural production, it impacts health of the people, because of UV rays. What happens? Skin cancer issues and eye problem issues get increased. So basically this ozone layer provide a blanket to it, which protects us from the ultraviolet rays that is sent by the solar insulation. So basically what India has done, India has ratified this Kigali Agreement to this Montreal Protocol to phase out or phase down, not out, but phase down hydrofluorocarbons from the environment. So India now it required to reduce its hydrofluorocarbon usage by 80% by 2047. China and USA, they have to achieve the same by 2045 and 2034. So China has to achieve the target by 2045, and USA has to achieve the target by 2034, and India by 2047. So experts had noted that India has exemplified its climate leadership by approving the ratification process. And under the ratification, hydrofluorocarbons will be phased down early, which in turn will make the Indian industry globally competitive across the climate-friendly coolant products. So if HFCs had to be phased down, it means new technology will come in, or efficient and effective technology, improvement of the technology will come into the picture. So climate friendly coolant products will come into the picture, or that will replace these HFCs. So ratification provided big opportunity to India to be on the course of early phase down of HFCs by means of domestic innovation. So if new technology had to come in, or has to replace HFCs, it means innovative technology is required. And if innovation will come into the picture, then obviously people are involved in that, in the innovation of new technology or alternate technology. So new innovative minds will come. Okay, new technology India will aspire for, India will search for, India will experiment for. So it will give a new dimension to India's technological sphere. All right. So phasing down of this HFCs is going to prevent emission of up to 105 million tons of carbon dioxide, which is equivalent of greenhouse gases. And it will help in avoiding up to 0.5 degrees Celsius of global temperature increase by 2100, and will also help in protecting the ozone layer. So it is not only, it will not only protect ozone layer, but it will also avoid increase of temperature, global temperature by 0.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. And it will also prevent emission of up to 105 million tons of carbon dioxide, which is equivalent to the greenhouse gases. So India is the first country that launched a cooling action plan in 2019, and India is working towards this. So about this Kigali agreement or to the Montreal Protocol. So basically that is an international agreement which is seeking to gradually reduce consumption and production of the hydrofluorocarbons, which is legally binding agreement that had been designed to create rights and obligations in the international laws. All right. So it is what a legally binding agreement. So if India had ratified this, it means India is bound to work upon work in this field. Okay, work in this work according to this agreement, because it is a legally binding agreement. So its background, if we talk about, Montreal Protocol had originally been created to preserve and restore ozone layer. That was the reason behind Montreal Protocol. This protocol was an agreement in between participating countries in order to do away with the ozone depleting gases. Under this agreement, hydrofluorocarbons were used to replace the banned substances as they have zero impact on the ozone. But hydrofluorocarbons are powerful greenhouse gases that contributes towards climate change. So basically before this hydrofluorocarbons, this had been replaced. Okay. And after replacing the cooling agent, this HFC had been implemented. But it had been found that it was useful for the ozone, but it was harmful for the environment, because it was as powerful as the greenhouse gases, okay, which is contributing towards climate change. So Kigali agreement had, or Kigali amendment, you can say, that had added hydrofluorocarbons to the list of chemicals that countries are required to phase out, because it is increasing global temperature because of its greenhouse gas nature. Okay, so till now, 121 states and European Union have ratified this Kigali Amendment or Kigali Agreement as of July 2021. And India is the new entrant in this list. USA, till now, it has not ratified the amendment, but it has pledged in April 2021 that it will work towards it. All right. Bilkul. So basically hydrofluorocarbons, basically before this it was hydrofluorocarbon, HPFC, it used to be there, which was the reason behind depletion of ozone layer. Okay, so it had been replaced by HFC, that is hydrofluorocarbons. So hydrofluorocarbons had been found out that it had helped ozone depletion too, or you can say ozone, whatever ozone hole had been created. So now ozone hole is getting filled up by using this HFC. But another problem with HFC is that it is an agent of greenhouse gas. So it is contributor in the increase of global temperature. Okay. So that is, so it is there. Any questions in this? You can ask here. So please remember one fact, that India has ratified it, but USA had not. But USA had target to achieve this by 2034. Okay. Now, any questions? Or I'm moving on to the next one. Religious tourism. PM Modi inaugurates multiple projects in Somnath. Somnath temple, have you heard about it? I believe you must know about it. So Somnath temple, that is in the Gujarat. Okay, it used to be known as, or previous name of Somnath was Prabhas Patan. Why it was named as Prabhas Patan? Patan means port. Okay, so because it is lying at the sea coast, that is why it was known as Prabhas Patan, or its ancient name was Prabhas Patan. Okay, so this Somnath temple, basically why it is in the news, because Prime Minister had said, or he had inaugurated multiple projects at Somnath temple, and it will provide, or it will boost up religious tourism. All right, with tourism, what will happen? With tourism, we will get revenue, domestic money we will get, foreign currency we will get, because if tourism it is there, then obviously foreigners will also get attracted towards it, and when they will come, we'll get foreign exchange in return, so tourism will get promoted. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi had virtually inaugurated and led foundation stone of multiple projects in Somnath on 20th August. He had inaugurated projects that include Somnath Promenade, reconstructed temple precinct of old, that is Juna Somnath, and Somnath Exhibition Center. So old Somnath and Somnath Exhibition Center will be reconstructed, and Somnath Promenade will be constructed. What is promenade? So basically this promenade will be used for the various purposes, for dancing festival, for any for certain occasions that can be used as a platform. Okay, so while inaugurating this project, Prime Minister has highlighted that India needs to strengthen religious tourism, and it will provide employment to youth and enable them to get knowledge about our past. So basically, who are the target population? Youth is the target population. So by promotion of religious tourism, two things will be done. First, employment among youth will be generated. They can become guide, okay, religious guide, and they can learn about our past, they can learn about our culture. So they are not only getting employment, but also getting knowledge about the culture, about the past, about the tradition. Okay, so here these so it will be the benefit for the youth population. So one is what? Shiv Parvati temple. So Prime Minister had laid foundation stone of this Shri Parvati or Shiv Parvati temple on this occasion, and this temple is proposed to be constructed with the total outlay of rupees 30 crore. That comprises of the construction of temple in the Sompura Salat style, which has been development of Garbha Griha and Nritya Mandap would be there. So what is Garbha Griha? Garbha Griha is the sanctum sanctorum where main deity lives. Okay. And Nritya Mandap is what? Nritya Mandap. Mandap means what? Assembly hall. Okay. What is assembly hall? You might have seen temple. You might have visited temple. So what architecture India is having? Basically, there is a plinth, there is a platform from or to approach this platform, there is staircase. So from staircase, you enter into the temple. Then at temple, which is made on the plinth, you enter in the assembly hall. This assembly hall is used for the prayer, for the purpose of prayer. And this assembly hall is before the sanctum sanctorum. Sanctum sanctorum means Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha, where main deity resides. You might have seen that. Okay. So in the assembly hall, you stand, you face Garbhagriha and you worship. Okay, so here what is the development? What would be the development? Development of Garbhagriha would be taken place, and Nritya Mandap would be there. So this Nritya Mandap will be used for the used as the assembly hall for the multiple purposes. Okay, and what is the style of the temple? That is Sompura Salat's style. All right. Now, about Somnath temple. So this is situated in the Verawal, which is in the Somnath city. That is in the Saurashtra of western coast of Gujarat. So temple is believed to be the first 12 Jyotirling shrines of Shiva, and temple is important pilgrimage and tourist spot of Gujarat. And if you know this fact, and some of you might have gone through medieval history, some of you might be going through medieval history and will get discussed in the medieval history, that Somnath was a temple which had been attacked 17 times in the history during medieval time period by Muslim invaders. Okay, so it had been reconstructed multiple times in the past following repeated destructions by the Muslim invaders and rulers. Presently, this temple form had been reconstructed in the Chalukya style of Hindu temple architecture. So remember, the present style of this Somnath temple is Chalukya style Hindu temple architecture. That its construction had been completed in 1951 in the month of May, and its construction was started on the orders of the Home Minister of India, Vallabhbhai Patel, the then Home Minister of India, Vallabhbhai Patel. Current chairman of Somnath Mandir Trust is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The city where the Somnath temple is located or situated. So name of this Verawal city had been changed to Somnath city on 30th March 2021, which is a municipality and headquarters of Gir Somnath district in Gujarat. The city is hub for the fishing industries in India. So remember this fact, this Gir Somnath district and this Verawal city. Okay, this is fishing industry in India, hub of the fishing industry in India. So these are some of the important prelims fact. You can make a note of it, which which may be useful for your prelims paper. So any questions in this you can ask here. Any questions? No questions, I believe. Now, next article, that is about BRICS. BRICS deal on cooperation in remote sensing satellite data sharing. So basically, BRICS countries, who are BRICS countries? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So these countries they have dealt on the cooperation or cooperate each other in the remote sensing satellite data sharing. So BRICS nations, these countries had signed a deal for the cooperation in the remote sensing satellite data sharing. And according to ISRO, this deal will enable the space agencies of BRICS nation to build a virtual constellation of specified remote sensing satellites through which ground station will receive data. So agreement had been signed on 18th of August under India's BRICS chairmanship. So this year's chairmanship is under India's presidency. So India is chairing this BRICS summit. So under that, this cooperation had been signed. So what is about BRICS? BRICS, basically, they are the major emerging economies. So five countries are there. Earlier it was BRIC. Okay. Later on, South Africa became part of it. So after adding of South Africa or involving South Africa, it is now five nation platform, multilateral platform, where these countries are regarded as the major economies or major emerging, not major economies, but major emerging economies who are known for their significant influences on the regional affairs. So government of BRICS had been meeting annually since 2009 at formal summits, and how they conduct meetings. So basically they conduct meeting on the basis of the name. For example, first meeting had been conducted in Brazil, then it followed by Russia, then India, China, and South Africa. So the same cycle they repeat every year. So whenever they have summits. So 12th BRICS Summit was the latest edition, which was hosted by Russia on November 17, 2020. Virtually, it has held because of COVID-19. Originally, there was a group of BRIC, that is Brazil, Russia, India, and China. South Africa became part of this group in 2010. And after that, the acronym had changed to BRICS by adding South Africa into it. So BRICS nations, they basically they have a combined area of more than 39 crores, with an estimated population of somewhere 3.21 billion population. Area is account for 26.656% of the world land surface, and population accounts for 41.53%. So more than 40% population these BRICS nations are having, and more than 26% world land they cover. So 4 members out of 5 are among world's 10 largest countries by population as well as by area. South Africa, which is at the 24th position with respect to both. It means population as well as area. So it comes on 24th position. Apart from this, BRICS, Russia, India, and China, they have large land area, as well as they are China and India, they're first and second position on the population. So bilateral relations among BRICS nations, if we talk about, so basically bilateral relations between BRICS nations conducted on the basis of non-interference, equality, and mutual benefit. Existence of this BRICS group does not signify any formal or informal alliance, as there are several economic, territorial, and political disputes among the 5 members. So basically, if you see among BRICS countries, only India and China is the country who involve in such type of tensions regarding territorial disputes. Apart from this, other countries, Brazil, Russia, and South Africa, they are they belongs to different continents. Okay, Brazil is in South America, South Africa is in American African continent, then Russia, that is part of Asia, and China and India, that is part of South Asia. So basically, India and China involved in get involved in such type of territorial disputes, but not other countries. So BRICS had been found that it was working successfully since its inception in 2009. And in this year's virtual summit conducted by India under its chairmanship, it has been cooperation had been established to deal in the remote sensing satellite data sharing. So what they will do with this remote sensing satellite data sharing? Basically, different type of data will be collected regarding agricultural crop loss, regarding what's say climate change and all. So they can share these data. For example, if Brazil requires data from India, so India can provide it, okay, for the further studies. So, and vice versa, it may happen. So any questions in this, you can talk, you can ask here. Not for prelims, but this is required for your knowledge. Okay, why you can use this in the mains examination, the mains answer. Okay, this area wise and population wise, at least you need to have some idea why BRICS is important. If I ask you why this BRIC grouping had been formed and why it is important, it is important because it is a group of major emerging economies. It means they are representing major emerging economies of the world. Okay. Along with this, they are representing a population that is more than 40%. So representation of population is important. You need to know about. Representation of land area is also important because it is related to population as well as economy, because they are emerging economies of the world. All right. So you need to have this idea. Do not need to memorize, but have a clear idea. What's a vague, not vague, but have an idea over it. For example, more than 26% is the land area of the world, and more than 40% is the population. So it is not important for the prelims, but you can memorize it or you can keep it in your mind for the mains answer writing. You can use this. All right. If you get any questions on this, then. Any more doubts? Yeah. Yeah. What is the question of Deen Dayal. That is about virtual constellation. So basically, in the virtual constellation, what happens? That is the observation of Earth, or you can say Earth observation. Okay, virtually. So constellation is what? Constellation is the what's say position of all such stars and all. So here in the virtual constellation, basically what they do, they read about the Earth observation, or they observe Earth. Okay, basically. So in this virtual constellation, basically they get a set of space or ground segment capabilities from these if virtual constellation had to be taken place, so here the coordinated efforts of all such countries are required so that they can observe Earth, how it is changing, how climate change is happening, how other things are happening regarding climate. Okay, climate resiliency or climate change related issues. So by observing these things, they can provide constellation data. This is what virtual constellation is. Okay. ठीक है दीनदयाल? So it is nothing, just a coordinated efforts of the countries to provide data regarding Earth observation. Okay, by doing Earth observation, and how they will do that. So it is what? It is kind of ground-based or space-based data collection. Okay, and what data collection it will be for? It will be regarding climate change, drought, flood, anything, any type of data regarding climate change, climate resiliency. These type of data they will get through. Chalo. Any more questions? Any more doubts? Next article. Joint guidance for the Australia-India Navy to Navy relationship. So here, joint guidance had to be provided, or that had been talked between Australia and India Navy, okay, to strengthen their Navy relationship. So Indian Navy and Royal Australian Navy, they have signed this joint guidance for Australia-India Navy to Navy relationship document on 18th of August. So this document signing ceremony had been held virtually between Chief of Naval Staff of India and Chief of Navy of Australia. So this document is in the line with the 2020 Comprehensive Strategic Partnership of India and Australia. This 2020 Comprehensive Strategic Partnership that had been agreed by the Prime Ministers with the aim of ensuring shared approach to regional and global security challenges. So both the countries will work towards or ensure to each other regarding shared approach to regional and global security challenges. And towards this, what they have done, they have signed joint guidance for the Navy to Navy relationship between India and Australia. All right. So what is about joint guidance document? So this document basically, or this joint guidance, will serve as a guideline document to showcase the determination of both the navies to work together bilaterally or multilaterally. For what they will do? For naval exercises or for naval patrolling, they will work together bilaterally or multilaterally. So broad scope of the document focusing on developing mutual understanding, cooperating for regional security, collaborating in mutually beneficial activities, and on the developing interoperability. What is the meaning of interoperability? We have discussed this word most of the times, many of the times. Interoperation means what? Interoperability. It means whenever India or Australia would get need to operate each other's techniques or each other's shipments, then they can do that in the during the time of need. Okay, they can interoperate from each other's docks. This is what interoperation. And mutual beneficial activities. Okay, they will collaborate for. They can cooperate for regarding regional security, mutual understanding they would develop. So this document is focusing on these areas. So primarily it highlights on close cooperation in the regional and multilateral fora like Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, Indian Ocean Rim Association, Western Pacific Naval Symposium, expert working groups that are subordinate to meeting plus framework of ASEAN defense ministers. So these are those close cooperation in regional and multilateral fora. Okay, it is going to help in consolidating the shared commitment to promote peace, security, stability, along with this prosperity in Indo-Pacific region. So this is the commitment of this document. Peace promotion, security, stability, apart from this, prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. All right. So this is about joint guidance program or joint guidance document. Now, defense relation between India and Australia. So bilateral defense relations have strengthened over the years between both the countries. Significant milestone of the relationship includes comprehensive strategic partnerships, that is regarding conduction of trilateral maritime security workshop, mutual logistics support agreement, then RAN participation, Royal Australian Navy participation in Malabar exercise. These exercises highlight the role played by both the navies in strengthening their relationship in recent times. So this is what, this is the defense relation between India and Australia. Then about joint guidance document, we have talked about that this is to provide to promote peace, stability, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. Different multilateral and regional fora had been used, like Indian Naval Symposium, Indian Ocean Rim Association, Western Pacific Naval Symposium, expert working groups. So these platforms or fora had been used for the close cooperation, to establish close cooperation between India and Australia. All right. And this document provide scope of on the development of mutual understanding, cooperation on regional security, collaboration in mutual beneficial activities, and developing interoperability. All right. So this is all about this article. Any questions in this, you can ask here. Malabar exercise, Dinesh, Malabar exercise. Malabar exercise is what? That is conversion of Quad, which is a strategic relationship between USA, India, Japan, and Australia. So this strategic relationship had converted into military exercise. That is called Malabar. Malabar is in the, that which area is known as Malabar? The coast lying in the Kerala. Okay, the coast lying, Indian Ocean coast, which is lying in the Kerala region. That is called Malabar. So in this Malabar, this exercise, naval exercise, had been conducted between India, USA, Australia, and Japan. All right. So here they have already shown their defense capabilities. So this is one of the significance of their defense cooperation. Okay, Dinesh. So these are very simple articles. All such important points had been mentioned over here. So what you have to remember in this document is named as 2020 Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Okay, and this is what? Joint guidance for India, Australia, India, Navy to Navy relationship. Okay. So this guidance is in the line with 2020 Comprehensive Strategic Partnership between India and Australia. Important points of this joint guidance document is being mentioned over here. You can read it out, and this will help you to remember remember. And India and Australia, if we talk about, so their milestone in the relationship or defense relationship includes their partnership, comprehensive strategic partnership, then conduct of trilateral maritime exercise, maritime security workshop, multiple logistics support agreement, and Royal Australian Navy participation in the Malabar exercise. So this, they have already done that. They are already doing it. All right. Chalo. Next article we are moving on to, that is India-Vietnam bilateral maritime drill conducted in South China Sea. So maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, this article had published in The Hindu. So Indian Navy and Vietnam People's Navy had been conducted joint drills in South China Sea as part of the maritime cooperation by both the countries. So South China Sea, which is a disputed territory between China and Southeast Asian nations, especially those countries whose borders or who are lying nearby the South China Sea. So China claim its control or claim its territorial extent on the South China Sea. Because of that, what happens? Those Southeast Asian nations, they are not having their hold on South China Sea because of the assertion of China. All right. So here, Indian Navy and Vietnam's People Navy had conducted this exercise or joint exercise at the South China Sea. So from Indian side, INS Ranvijay and INS Kora had undertaken bilateral maritime exercises. From Vietnam side, frigate VPNS Lai Thai To, that is HQ012, had taken part. So Indian Navy ships had arrived at Cham Ran, which is Vietnam for harbor phase. Okay, and it is conducted professional interactions with the VPN, maintaining extant COVID-19 protocols. So by maintaining COVID-19 protocols, the professionals have interacted, or interaction had been taken place with the VPN. Okay. That is Vietnam People's Navy. Okay, VPN is what? Vietnam People's Navy. So now what is the aim of this bilateral interaction? So this bilateral military exercise had conducted with the aim of consolidating a strong bond shared by both the navies. It is a step towards strengthening India-Vietnam defense relationship. So if you see India-Vietnam, so basically Vietnam is part of Southeast Asia, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN countries. And here bilateral agreement or bilateral relationship is being established between India and Vietnam. Okay. So by doing this or conducting this naval exercise, they have taken a step towards strengthening their relationship or strengthening their defense relationship, you can say. So sea phase had comprised of surface water exercises, helicopter operations, and weapon firing drills. So this is about the drill what had been conducted by both the countries. So at the surface water exercises, okay, then helicopter operations and weapon firing drills had been conducted. Now, that defense relationship, India and Vietnam's defense relationship. So, like regular bilateral interactions between both the navies have enhance their interoperability and adaptability. Interoperation, I have already discussed about that. They can interoperate each other's ships or each other's warfares. And adaptability means what? Adaptability to the technology of both the countries. So they have enhanced their navies for interoperation and adaptability. So defense relationship between both the countries have been robust. They had undertaken a defense security dialogue in the month of June 2021, and Indian naval ships have been visiting Vietnamese ports frequently. So both the countries have also strengthened cooperation between two navies over the years. So INS Ranvijay had taken part in this exercise. So about INS Ranvijay. So basically this INS Ranvijay is a guided missile destroyer. It can destroy. So it is a guided missile destroyer. And it is latest INS to the Rajput class, which had been commissioned on 21st December 1987. And it had been equipped with several weapons and sensor comprising of surface-to-surface missile, anti-air missiles and guns, anti-submarine rockets, and heavyweight torpedoes. It is also capable of carrying anti-submarine helicopters, which is named as Kamov 28. Okay. Then INS Kora has also taken part. So this is what? This is the lead ship of Kora class missile corvette, which is fitted with surface-to-surface missiles as well as anti-air guns. All right. So these are some of the informations regarding this exercise held between India and Vietnam. Any questions you can ask here? Any questions in this? You can ask here. No questions? Chalo. Next article is about India and Bangladesh, where cabinet had approved memorandum of understanding on disaster management. So both the countries has agreed and signed, or you can say approved memorandum of understanding to work together on the disaster management. Okay. So Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister, has approved the Memorandum of Understanding on Disaster Management between India and Bangladesh, which had already been signed in the month of March 2021. So this MAU has signed between National Disaster Management Authority of India, Ministry of Home Affairs of India, and Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief of Bangladesh. So this MOU involves cooperation in the field of disaster management, disaster resilience, and mitigation. What benefits would be provided under this MOU? So this had been signed to put in place a system where both India and Bangladesh will be benefiting from the disaster management mechanisms of each other that will help in strengthening preparedness, response, and capacity building in the area of disaster management. Okay, ठीक है. Maybe most probably by 8 o'clock. Okay, so before that, I will tell you. Sure. So here, what they will do under this MOU, what they have signed for, they have signed that they will work towards strengthening of the disaster preparedness. It means before disaster, they can be prepared for this, to face this disaster. Then how they will respond and capacity building. It means whenever disaster will struck, whenever disaster will happen. So capacity building is required that they can sustain it. Okay. How they are responding towards it in the area of disaster management. Now, features of this MOU. So it has extended mutual support at the time of large-scale disaster, that is natural or man-made. It will occur within their respective territories. That will help each other in the area of relief, response, reconstruction, and recovery. So in this MOU, they have talked about relief measures, resources, response, relief measures, response towards disaster, reconstruction, and recovery of the recovery from the disaster. It also provides for exchange of relevant information, remote sensing data, scientific data. Also provide for sharing experience for or best practices of disaster response, recovery, mitigation, capacity building in order to ensure resilience. Then it extends cooperation on advanced information technology, early warning system, response and mitigation, remote sensing and navigation services, disaster preparedness, and real-time data sharing. What is real-time data sharing? In this real-time data sharing, what happens? Whatever is happening right now regarding disaster, the data will be shared by each other. Okay. Then this MOU is seeking to conduct joint disaster management exercises bilaterally. So this is another prelims fact that by under this MOU, joint disaster management exercise will held bilaterally. Okay. So then it set up mechanism for sharing standards, latest technologies, and tools in order to create disaster resilient communities. So technology is required, so both the countries will share this. Also exchanges publications and materials as textbooks and guidelines on the disaster management. Countries may conduct joint research activities on the disaster management, risk reduction, and recovery. So these are the features of the MOU and the areas where both the countries have to work upon. So they need to identify, they need to be prepared, they need to work towards its relief, responding towards disaster, reconstruction after disaster, and recovery after disaster. So that they have to work upon. Then capacity building, mitigation program, resilience insurance that need to be provided. Then joint disaster military exercise, disaster management exercise had to be held bilaterally. So these are features of the MOU signed between India and Bangladesh. Any questions in this? You can ask here. Now, next article is what? WTO Global Goods Trade continues recovery. So WTO had found that trade barometer, okay, goods trade barometer, global merchandise trade is continuing its robust recovery post COVID-19 pandemic. So this WTO's goods trade barometer, basically what it tells about, it tells that global merchandise trade is in the continuation its robust recovery after post COVID-19 pandemic. And the trade barometer hit a record high in its latest readings. So in the barometer, basically what had been found out that um, merchandise trade had increased. Okay, so barometer had recorded a reading of 110.4, and it is the highest on the record since the month of July 2016. So this reading was up more than 20 points year on year basis, and this reading will end up well for India because India's exports are recording healthy growth rates. Rise in the barometer highlights. Barometer is what? It is a technology. For example, where barometer we use. Have you heard about barometer? Where it has been used? This technology of barometer, where it had been used? Any idea? Measurement of air. Okay, air pressure basically. So to measure air pressure, barometer is used. And here another new term is what? Goods trade barometer. So this goods trade barometer, it means it is a scientific method to look out or to find out the increase in the merchandise trade. So it had been find out 110.4 reading had been find out in the barometer, which is highest since 2016. And this reading was based on 20 points, okay, year on year basis. So this rise in barometer highlights the strength of current trade expansion as well as depth of pandemic induced shock in 2020. Indicates that goods trade will observe year on year rise in the second quarter, and also suggests that outlook for world trade will be overshadowed by risks like regional disparities, weakness in services trade, and lag in the vaccination timetables. So it has suggested the outlooks regarding these issues as well. Okay, so world trade will get overshadowed by the risk. What all risks are? Regional disparities, weakness in the services trade, and lag in the vaccination timetable. So if these three things will be there, then world trade will get overshadowed. That had been highlighted. It had been outlooked. Okay. So goods trade barometer, if we talk about, so that had been launched in 2016 by WTO. It combines several trade-related components indices into a single composite index that highlights the turning point in world merchandise trade as well as provides an indication for its trajectory in near future, which shows how latest data compare with short-run trends in goods trade, which is earlier known as World Trade Outlook Indicator. So indicator, it was WTO indicator, and now it has been named as the goods trade barometer. So how it indicates the trajectory. So basically reading of 100 indicates for trade expansion in accordance with the recent trends, while reading greater than 100 indicates above trend growth, and below 100 it shows below trend growth. Okay, so at 100 it is according to the recent trend, above 100 above the trend growth, and below 100 it is below trend growth. Okay, this is what the trajectory of barometer indicates. Now, updation of barometer takes place quarterly, that you need to know. About WTO, if we talk about, so it is what? It is an intergovernmental organization that involve in regulation and facilitation of international trade between the countries. That is what WTO is, World Trade Organization. Officially, it had been started its operation on 1st January 1995 after 1994 Marrakesh Agreement, which has replaced General Agreement on trades, tariffs and trade, that was GATT. Okay, so GATT has been replaced and this WTO had been established. So this is the latest international economic organization in the world, comprising of 164 member states. So basically, WTO is an important forum among all such member nations, where countries may talk about subsidies, agricultural subsidies. Countries may talk about establishment of free trade agreement. So whatever trade related issues are there, that can be settled, that can be talked about, new avenues can be find out. So WTO becomes a very important platform. All right. Any questions in this? You can ask here. No questions? Sure. Moving on to the next and then. UK and USA had held G7 meeting on Afghanistan regarding Afghanistan issue. So basically, USA President and British Prime Minister, they have agreed to hold a virtual G7 meeting on Afghanistan, where both the leaders had exchanged their views on phone regarding recent developments in Afghanistan. So what is the recent development? Taliban had taken over major provinces, in fact, Kabul as well, that was the capital city. And many atrocities had been faced by the people of Afghanistan. They are fleeing from the Afghanistan. Some of them are still stuck at Afghanistan. Females or women of Afghanistan, they are in the fear that again, those atrocities, what they have faced 20 years back, now again, they have to face the same. Okay. So both of them had commended the bravery and professionalism of their military and civilian personnel working together in Kabul to evacuate their citizens and Afghan nationals. They had also exchanged views on the need for continued close coordination among the allies and democratic partners on Afghanistan policy, along with the ways in which global community can provide humanitarian assistance and support to refugees and vulnerable Afghans. So here they will provide humanitarian assistance, what they have to talk about, and they have to coordinate or come in the coordination among the allies and democratic partners of the Afghanistan. So one is what? Political relations, and another is what? Humanitarian assistance that had to be provided, that they have to discuss in the G7 meeting. So G7 is what? That is group of seven, that is group of developed economies. Okay, they are group of developed economies that comprise France, Germany, Italy, Canada, Japan, and United Kingdom and United States. So member of G7 are the largest IMF advanced economies worldwide. They are wealthiest liberal democracies, which is organized around shared value of pluralism and representative government. Members account 60% of the global net wealth and 30 to 46% of global gross domestic product as of 2018. So G7, if we talk about, it has originated in 1973 from an ad hoc meeting of finance ministers. After that, it has become a formal, high-profile venue to discuss and coordinate solutions to major global issues like trade, security, economics, and climate change. So these are what? Global issues, major global issues. Then if we talk about UK-USA relations, so basically bilateral relations between both the countries have evolved during two early wars and competition for world markets. So both the countries have been close military allies since 1940. And if you remember the history, so UK or Britain, that had made or that had set up their colonies in USA, 13 colonies it used to have. Later on, both of them had involved in World Wars 1 and 2. Okay, so from there they had set up their allies. since 1940s, and they are enjoying special relationship which is built as wartime allies and NATO partners, North Atlantic Treaty Organization partners. So they are closely associated by shared history, common language, religion, legal system, kinship lies, including ancestral lines among English Americans and Scottish American, etc. Okay, so this is what their history is about USA and UK. And regarding history of G7, what is G7 all about and what they have discussed about. Okay, so any questions in this you can ask here. Next article is about RODTEP scheme. You might have heard about that, is remission of duties and taxes on the exported products. So this scheme had been notified. Okay, so India had notified duty rebate rates. So central government had notified this rates and guidelines for the remission of duties and taxes on the exported groups. Export incentive scheme it is. Okay, so it is what? It is for zero rating of exports, which will help in boosting India's exports and competitiveness across the global markets. So if duties and taxes will get remitted on the exported products and products, then what will happen? Competition will get increased. Why? Because India's export will get boosted up. If remission of duties and taxes would be taken place, then India's export will get boosted up, competition among the global markets will get increased, and India's products will get high value. So rates under RODTEP scheme for different sectors had been set as 0.5%, 2.5%, and 4%. So different rebate rates had been applied. Okay, India had notified duty rebate rates. So rebate is what? Rebate is a type of discount. Okay, so these rates will be applicable to 8,555 tariff lines that will come into effect from 1st January 2021. So principle of this scheme, basically the scheme works on the principle that taxes and duties should not be exported, while taxes and levies on the exported products should either be exempted or remitted to the exporters. Then only what will happen? Market will get open freely for those people. So how these taxes are charged under this scheme? So basically under this RODTEP scheme, duties, taxes, and levies are being charged on the exported products at state and local levels. Then it refunds the prior stage cumulative indirect taxes on the goods along with this services used in the production for the exported product and their distribution. So here rebate will not apply to duties and taxes that are already exempted, remitted, or credited. So this scheme support will be available for eligible exporters as the percentage of freight on board value. Rebate on some exports product will be subject to value cap per unit of exported product. So some of the exported products will be there where value cap will be put on. So about the scheme, if we talk about, so Ministry of Finance will finalize the overall outlay of this scheme in consultation with the Department of Commerce. Ministry will take into account all the factors before finalizing the changes. Who will implement this scheme? So scheme will get implemented by customs with the help of a simplified IT system, information technology system. Ministry will issue rebate in the form of transferable duty credit or electric scrip, that is e-scrip. That will be maintained by Central Board of Direct Taxes, Indirect Taxes and Customs, that is CBIC, in an electronic ledger. So through this way, they will do, or they will have, or implementation of this scheme will be all technologically. All right. Any questions in this? You can ask here. बेटा देखो, prior stage, as the name suggests, prior stage cumulative indirect tax. So prior stage means what? That before, for example, if any product had to be exported, it involves some custom duties. Okay, it involves some export duties. These are what? These are prior stage cumulative indirect taxation. Okay, so whatever duties are to be levied on the product that had to be exported, these are having some charges to pay. Okay, these are prior stage charges, prior stage indirect taxes that exporter had to be paid. So, so to get rid of this, what is it? What was the problem? So, if taxes had to be paid before exporting, then it had impacted the export. Okay, export of the product. Why? Because they have to pay taxes. Then tax will get included in the price of the product, and then product will be sold at the higher price. So by removing this or elimination of this taxes or rebate given on the products, what will happen? It will minimize the tax rate, and it will boost up the competition of the product in the foreign market. ठीक है आकांक्षा? Now, next article is what? RBI introduced Financial Inclusion Index. Freight or board value, for example, freight is what? For example, if you have any commodity, so that had to be transported from one place to another place, right? Either through trucks, either through trains, freight corridors. Okay, so that is what freight on board value. So whenever you transport that product from train or road or port or any other means, sorry, from ships, so any other means you are transporting this product, so obviously it will involve cost and a transportation cost. So this is freight on board value. Whatever cost will get during transportation of the product, that is called freight on board value. ठीक है साइन? Now, next article is what? RBI introduced Financial Inclusion Index. So they have introduced this Financial Inclusion Index, and okay. So this index will be used to capture the extent of financial inclusion in India. Now, what is the meaning of financial inclusion? Any idea regarding this financial inclusion? Basically, this is going to tell about who all population are under the or are secured financially. Secured financially, it means they are having bank accounts. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, what was that? Inclusive in the terms of accessibility, availability, and ease of use. Ease of use of what? Basically, these are those populations who are under the banking net, who are covered under banking. Okay, who are financially included. Financially included means what? Yes, use of banks. Okay. So financial inclusion index will be used to capture the extent of the financial inclusion in India. And if you remember, in 2015, I guess one scheme had been introduced for the financial to improve the financial inclusion. That was what? Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay, Jan Dhan Yojana. So under this Jan Dhan Yojana, those who used to be excluded from the financial net, those people had got this facility to have their bank accounts, okay, under Jan Dhan Yojana. As part of policy, this scheme announcement, this index announcement had been taken place by RBI that they are going to conduct this financial inclusion index. So about this financial inclusion index had been conceptualized as a comprehensive index which comprises the details of banking, insurance, investments, postal and pension sector in the consultation with government and sectoral regulations that also capture informations on different aspects of financial inclusion in the single value, which ranges from 0 to 100. Okay, 0 indicates complete financial exclusion, 100 indicates complete financial inclusion, and in between as per the coverage. So it comprises three broad parameters like access, usage, and quality. It means access to the services, usage of the services, and quality. Okay, so each of these parameters comprises of the various dimensions that are computed on the basis of different indicators. It is responsive to the ease of access, availability, and usage of services, along with the quality of services, which is comprising of all 97 indicators. All right. Then about the feature of index. So basically the unique feature is its quality parameter, which is capturing the quality aspect of the financial inclusions on the line of financial literacy, consumer protection, etc. Financial literacy means what? If people or if financially included person knows the usage of these systems or not. Okay, for example, if that person has to go to inquire about its bank statement. So is he financially literate? Does he know about financial what's say activities? Okay, regarding bank statements, regarding cash deposition, cash withdrawal, or insurance facilities, investment facilities. So is that person financially literate or not? Okay, then consumer protection regarding any frauds. Okay, then base year of index. So basically this financial inclusion index had been created without any base year, and it reflects cumulative efforts of all the stakeholders towards financial inclusion that will be published annually in the month of July every year. Okay, so now what are the challenges faced while financial inclusion? So challenges of the financial inclusion. So what are those? So as per RBI governor, there are three challenges of improving financial inclusion infrastructure across India. That is what identification of the customer. This problem had been faced while opening up of the bank accounts under Jan Dhan Yojana. All right. Then reaching the last mile, it means to each and every person providing relevant, affordable, and safe products. So if banking or bank accounts had been opened, so whether people are financially literate to use it, all right, then relevant, affordable, and safe products regarding financial inclusion. For example, investment plans, insurance plans, okay, pension, postal plans. So these plans need to be reliable, and that need to be easy to usage or easy to understand by the people, okay, by the individual of the country. So these are basically had been found the challenges to implement or challenges of financial inclusion in the country. All right. So any questions on this, you can ask here. Any questions on this? Chalo. So that is all about this article. That is all about today's article discussions or today's current affairs discussion. If any questions is there, you can ask me over here. Any doubts, you can ask me over here. Chalo, Deendayal have already wished me good night. So thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Happy Raksha Bandhan to everyone. Thank you so much. Manishji, I am ending this session. Are you able to listen? Are you there? So end this session. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night. Good night.